Pen back.
Would you like to borrow mine while he's using?
Yes. Okay.
We are live and meeting called.
Tell me about yourself.
All right, kiddos.
I was born once upon a time.
Well, I'm calling the meeting to order at 5:17 and declare a quorum. We do that. Introduction of members and guests, new application, Rick Smith and what's your name?
I'm ready to run.
What's his name?
Oh, what's his name?
Rick
David
Smith and,
Hatman.
oh, what's his name?
All right, what is your name again?
He's a new appointee, Hatman, Hattman.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. All right, and I'd like to take a minute for Rick. Can you give us just a little bit of your background?
Well, I moved to Rockport in 2012 after retiring in 2011. I spent 40 years in law enforcement and had been visiting Rockport for a good while. And we decided to make this our retirement home. And we love it. We live in Captain's Bay Estates, west of the Hampton Inn, behind the Greenbelt. And been involved in a few things. So what am I involved in? The Building Standards Commission, the Airport Council, and
Stormwater.
the Stormwater Commission. And then
Air-
one day when I had too much to drink, Betty told me.
How about the airport?
And
Oh, did
And I will say this, the way I got introduced to Aransas County history was through the Bayside Historical Society. They have wonderful information on their website, and I read it, and I liked it, and started looking for more information. That interested me.
Great. Well, we're delighted that you were with us, and David?
Rockport resident for 15 years. Prior to that, from Houston. I was a former business owner. Actually, I'm still a business owner, but we recently sold our business, so I have more time on my hands than I used to. And I was a former candidate for the navigation district in 2000.
And his wife was president of the chamber,
My wife was president here, and my daughter-in-law is a city council.
city council member. So yeah, he's very, very involved. So
I hear everything. Yes, thank you.
all right. Well, thank you for agreeing to do. He called me yesterday. I had talked to him at Richard Neal's Christmas party about doing this. And so he said, called me yesterday and said, sure. And that was his first word, was sure, which was nice. Yeah.
Good beginning.
And we have no citizens to be heard, I take it. Okay, under presentations, we don't have any that I know of. And discuss, approve, or disapprove the minutes. I sent everybody a copy of the minutes. Is there any changes or additions to the minutes of September 8th?
Make a motion to accept the minutes as presented.
Second.
Any
So we can
opposed?
vote for it.
Pardon?
We weren't here, but I guess we can still vote for it.
Yeah, well, they're good.
Yeah.
Part of the quorum.
Okay, I'm going to pass this out. Next item on the agenda. What's the score?
1823 Trinity.
Colin, copy. 1824 Trinity,
23 Trinity.
23 Trinity. Okay, good, good. Anyway, sorry. It's my granddaughter's basketball game, so what can I tell you? All right. If you look on the treasurer's report, we get, for those of you who are new, we get a stipend every year from the general fund for of $10,000 a year. And so when I was on Commissioner's Court, it was 8, and I got it bumped up because of markers. I mean, markers got more expensive, as Sandy can tell you. And so we got it up to 10. And so anything that we don't spend, we have to give back. So if you'll look at the bottom line, we'll be giving,
There's no carry forward, in other words.
there's no carry forward, no. So I have to plead to get, for example,
Spend it or lose it.
spend it or lose it, exactly. But we do, I think we do a good job. We don't cheat. If you'll look at the marker expenses, the 3 VIP markers, yes, Sandra, you see the cost of that. Then in a little later, we've got a report on the new VIP markers, which I'll give you a printout on some of that. But anyway, I just wanted to let you know that we didn't spend all of the money, but
1,300.
we got 1,316. Yeah. So anyway, I wanted to explain, and I guess I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's go ahead and accept this treasurer's report, and then we'll come back to it in a minute. So if I can have a motion to approve the treasurer's report.
So
Any
Second.
opposed? Hearing none. Okay. Okay, the next thing on the agenda is the presentation of a new slate of officers for 2022. Mike, you're the.
The officer
Yeah, I
nomination
can't
committee.
nominate myself. You're gonna.
Right, and so I would like to nominate Betty Stiles to be for the position of chair.
And we will accept
I'll second that.
any nominations from the floor.
Any nominations from the floor, yeah. Hearing none, then I'll entertain a
I'll second.
motion.
Okay.
So a motion is made by Mr. Hatman,
Second.
seconded by Mr. Smith, and all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, then we can move to the next. You want me to do that one as well? or-
I'll do it.
Okay.
No, you
Oh, yeah.
can't do your. That I'm chair, I can fit.
Right.
Okay, the second slide is here as vice chair. Do we have any nominations from the floor?
But I'll second the nomination.
Oh, okay. Any
I'll
nominations
make
from
a
the floor?
motion that the nomination cease.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, Mike? Got it for another year, bud.
Good deal. Take it, I'll take it for another year.
Well, me too, because we all come off,
That's right.
every one of us come off the
That's
board
right.
next year, so we all roll.
We're gonna
off.
have to recruit some.
We're gonna have to recruit big time.
Just, just I wanted to make sure, do we have a quorum currently present?
Yes,
Okay.
How long's the term?
2 years.
2 years.
and then a consecutive, you can go 2 years and then
Go off 2
two
years.
consecutive, no. You have 2 consecutive years, so you can actually go for 4.
Yeah.
And then you have to come off
Have you
after
been
4.
on 4?
Yeah, this will be my 4th year.
Yeah.
And this will be Mike's 4th year, and this will
And
be
they only,
Colin's.
and we only appoint in odd years. So,
So 23.
yeah, we roll off in 23.
Yeah,
at the
we do.
beginning, 22.
Okay. Okay, Colin as secretary. Can I have a nomination?
I'll make a motion that Colin be accepted as secretary.
Or
Second.
is there any
No,
nominations from the
I'm
floor?
sorry, Colin, the secretary, I had to.
Any nominations from the floor? Having heard none,
Mm-mm.
can we have a motion
A motion.
to accept?
Get Colin.
Okay,
Are you vice president?
all right. No, he's
Oh, he's
secretary, secretary.
I'm secretary Colin, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I was
Don't give
thinking.
me a nice
I
job.
should know that.
I don't want your job.
Now, the Sandy Bridges, bless her heart, she works for
Marshall.
Charlie Marshall Funeral Home, and they have been inundated. And so the treasurer's report is very simple. It's not a big deal. And I basically have been doing it. But if there's anybody that you can think of that there's a member that we could do the treasurer's report, we could certainly have a nomination to that effect. However, it's simple, and if she resigns, then we can appoint later. But right now, she's pretty much inactive.
Do you get a monthly expense and revenue statement from the auditor's department here? I know that I saw today on the AC Financials, on that server. Yeah, that's, okay, so you get a monthly and an annual. I saw your annual, but I hadn't seen the monthly.
They
This
do
is-
post the monthly is out there. I just don't think they send it to.
I see,
I
because
can,
that would just take all the work out of it right there.
Oh, what, yeah, the only thing I like to do is break it down in the spreadsheet
Oh, I see.
as to what affects each department.
Right,
And this doesn't, this is just strictly expense.
right.
So that's why I do the spreadsheet.
Well, the other one there.
'Cause we're not-
This is from the auditor's
Yeah,
office.
what's that, wasn't it?
So what you're gonna see is a little bit of a difference.
Yeah, they just show you.
and I will
just who the-
say-
Just who the vendor is all they show.
Yeah, but what I will say to you is that we had it's another story on the VIP markers, but we ordered 3 posts for $527.94. It's not reflected in this number, but will be, because it was a December invoice.
Okay.
So that's why you have a difference. And if you take this number, that number, it's gonna come up to $527.94, okay? But we've got a real issue on our VIP markers, but we'll get to that when we get to the marker part of it. So can we have a motion to accept the treasurer's report as presented?
I'll make a motion to accept the treasurer report as presented.
Second.
Roberto seconded. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The thing about the treasurer's report, it is what it is. You know, really, there's,
I want to clarify, their appointments are actually filling unexpired terms and they'll get reappointed for 2023
Okay.
forward, I believe, because we're not in an odd year right now.
no, but can't you appoint, because we're not at our 15?
We don't have a max limit. We only have a minimum.
We have a max of 15.
We do?
Mhm.
I thought we didn't have a max. We just had a minimum when we wanted.
No, we have a max. Double check it, but,
I'll double check,
okay,
but I
according to
know,
the bylaws, I think.
but if
15
we're,
is
yeah,
your-
if we're not up to our membership, then we can't appoint in an even year. But typically they're unexpired terms is the only reason we'd have a vacancy in an even year.
Okay, well, we lost Janet,
We lost Janet.
and then we lost because of Sandy coming off and Linda coming off.
Well,
Linda Haynes is off. I mean, she's 2021. She was done. She's
yeah,
done.
she came off in 21.
That's why you're secretary again. So
Yeah,
double check that. And if we're,
I will, because yeah, in the bylaws are we appoint for full terms in odd years. So the only reason we'd have a vacancy in an even year is if someone resigned.
well.
And we did have a couple of resignations in 2021, or in 2021 that resigned.
Brian told us.
Brian Tullis.
That was 2020.
No, that's right. No, he resigned in
No.
21
No. Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was 21.
Okay.
recently.
And then we
And you
had,
lost Janet.
right, okay, so they are unexpired terms.
Okay.
Phil.
And do you understand what he's just telling you?
So you're filling in, you're
For
appointed
those-
for 1 year till 2023, and then you'll be appointed for a full term in 2023 for 2 years.
Okay,
So you get to serve 3 years, and then you can have one more term after that before you term out.
if we're not all dead.
I was. I just want to be around.
Yeah.
Hopefully I'm around.
Oh,
Don't
it's
talk
not
like that.
complicated. You don't have to accept the appointment, I mean, if you don't want to.
Is this in the snow?
But I wanted to clarify that.
Sandy, were you talking about here, and you mentioned Sandy?
I did, you. Sandy Bridges too. Sandy
Okay.
Bridges,
Okay.
Sandy Bridges has not
I don't
attended a
have a
meeting.
definite date, but I really will be gone.
No, I hear you. So,
Okay.
yeah, so,
Just,
and if you can send me that in writing,
yeah, I know,
Please.
I had it all done. And
okay, just send it to me in writing, so we'll have it as a permanent record. But anyway, okay, then, treasurer, what are we gonna do? We're gonna.
We approved.
We approved it, and we're on.
Okay, we're done. Okay, thank you. All right, executive action items on committee report for me. We have the THC annual report. Have I lost you? Are you there?
I'm looking.
Please look at it.
I used to look in the Google.
I hope you're not expecting me to give the THC. I don't have it.
The THC.
Yeah, that's cannabis stuff, right? You said what you're talking about?
No, Texas Historical Commission, maybe I should say that out loud, has an annual report every year. So what we need to do is figure out our hours that we have put in. And Sandy, don't forget that, your hours of working on the, everything. It's gonna be kind of huge this year because of sesquicentennial. What I thought about doing is separating it out. The sesquicentennial group has their hours, and we can present that to Commissioners Court as the hours that the sesquicentennial put in. And then as I'm going to use an acronym, CHC, which is it's us.
County school.
Okay, thank you. I'm just, anyway, then we can put in our hours, even though they're part of the
Right, because you're
sesquicentennial.
not double dipping in any kind of
Exactly.
way. It's the one reflects on the total of the historical commission and the other reflects just on something that was basically a committee.
Yeah, exactly.
Um,
So anyway. we
There's
need-
no consideration for that. Is there consideration for, because Pam asked for hours on that, or we?
Pam asked for hours, but we want to apply the committee hours, not us.
So that was because some of those members aren't on the historical commission. I see what you're saying.
Exactly,
Yeah, okay,
exactly.
right.
So we're going to submit to the Commissioners Court the hours that the sesquicentennial did and show them that that was highly, I mean, RLT, which is Rockport Little Theater, had 275 hours.
Saw that.
Yeah. So it's going to be a big thing, but those of us that serve on this committee will submit our sesquicentennial hours and it will go toward our THC hours.
That's just basically, you don't need to break it down, do you? Or you want to break it down?
We don't have to break
Yeah,
it
we
down.
should.
We don't, but
Right,
they do.
right.
Okay, so I just wanted to let you know, the deadline for that is February, so we need to work on
You'll
it.
send out an email?
And it's anything you work on historical, it's
I
not
have my numbers.
good. I love it. She's so good. I love it. Okay, that's the total hours for all the committee members. Orientation for new members is, we need to kind of set a date for that. But I have to get with Pam to do that because she does the orientation and I think you'll get a lot out of that. It gives you a lot of information. It also helps you decide what committee you might
Which
want
one
to serve.
are we talking?
Pam Stranahan, sorry.
Okay.
Do we have to have open meetings training?
No, everybody's done it.
The
The new members have to take.
Well, I've already done it with the
Yeah.
other
Okay.
committees. that I'm
And
on.
David, have you done the open
It's
meetings?
a YouTube video, it's really quick.
It's an hour.
And it's really
Boring.
It's not bad.
in depth.
It just says, I understand. I can, I mean, I know what it is.
All right. Okay, well, you have 30 days to get it to me.
What do we have to do?
Go up online,
On
text,
YouTube.
it's on YouTube too.
Oh, it is?
Yeah,
Okay. I just have to tell you I did it.
and
It'll give you, looking for a certificate.
it'll print out a certificate.
I
we
can't
give it
just
to
say Scouts Honor.
you.
Maybe.
David, as long as I
You
know
might
you, I
just be able to
trust
keep
you.
it fast forward.
All right, because that takes care of me. But anyway, I will get with Pam and she will give us a date for new member orientation and if that works for everybody. Preservation of public policy, we really don't have much of a report on that. Mark's not here, but there really wasn't no report. I said it, so. Then historical markers and endangered properties. Sandy? You want me to go first or then, because Sargent Klein is behind me. I'd like to talk about the VIP markers
Okay.
first, okay, if I can. Well, the three new VIP markers is Coconut Fishing Pier. And I have printed out a program. I sent out save the date. But this is the program.
Oh, okay.
I did this and
Oh,
This
nice.
is Niapolis.
Oh, gee, very nice.
well, thank you. Every now and then,
Now,
you know, old birds fly.
now, will this be like right at the beginning of the pier? We're gonna have.
We're gonna be on the south end.
What's the south end? I don't know north and south.
That's where the boat ramp is.
Oh, okay.
South would be on our side of the pier.
Yeah,
North is
before you get to the
our side.
bridge.
Oh,
Just like trying to get
that's
to-
all I needed. Just tell me.
But see, it wouldn't be that for me because I live in Lamar.
That's right.
Well, the north end is where the refugees from penal colony.
Gee, I better find.
There
out.
is a marker at that spot on the north side, but we're not gonna do that. We're gonna do the program and the dedication on the south side. And then we travel to the History Center because Russell Marine built it's not a replica, it's actually part of the actual pier. And when you see that in your program on the inside, what they've done.
Oh,
And they brought the bridge to us at the History
Yeah.
Center. So there's another VIP marker that's gonna be dedicated
that's
there.
cool. Mm.
And I've invited them, I haven't heard back, but I've invited Richard Prince to come. And hopefully he will, but he was the one who actually got the material together for us and built it and delivered it and put it up.
That's gonna be a separate marker with a separate ceremony and everything.
It's gonna be a
Okay.
separate ceremony.
Yeah.
It's the same marker. Then all three of them were the same, but
Okay.
it's still just, it's not 5 minutes. And then we'll have cheese and wine afterwards.
Right.
Okay. So that'll fit in time.
I think I told you I can't be there for that, unfortunately.
Yeah, I know.
Since my wife has an exciting event.
It really colonoscopy. Don't you know? Great.
She's having a colonoscopy the next day, and
You can
Oh,
celebrate with wine and cheese.
Okay. But anyway, I hope y'all can come. Did you get a copy of that? Did I give you a copy of it?
This,
Yeah. I'm sorry.
You saw that green.
I was like, no, you didn't give me a copy of the marker.
Okay, Sandy, do you want to talk about the Sorensen Klein and where we might be?
Okay. I have not followed through on that, and so, like, like, for instance, I gotta ask you, Sorensen, do you mean the Sorensen store building or the Janie White's
Janie
house?
White's house. Janie White's
Yeah.
house.
I have been by there and I've noticed a lot of repair and so forth going on there, and I have not talked to Janie. I'm not sure what's going on.
Okay.
The Klein building,
I never thought Janie wanted a marker. I remember this came up years ago, didn't it? One time.
We
and she-
applied
Okay, I didn't think she.
before, if I
yeah, we
remember.
applied for the registered
Okay.
historic landmark.
And they didn't, for whatever reason, they denied it.
They felt like it was already covered by the store and so forth and so on. You know, I thought it was a real stretch.
Okay,
But I do have this for you,
okay,
which I may as well give you now.
all right. Okay, this is the Klein, all of the information we need for the Klein building. This has been sent and submitted to Texas Historical Park. So it's all the pictures, everything in it, the photos. So it's a no-brainer as far as applying for the Klein Cafe building. I know that Pam Stranahan told me that they have applied for a VIP marker to be placed there, but we also want a THC marker.
Okay.
It would be a
THC
subject marker, it would be a subject marker, it can't be a landmark,
Yeah,
because it's moved.
yeah, I remember I looked into what that would require and tried to figure it out. And my hangup, as I recall, was getting in touch with Mr. Myers,
Mhm.
Myers,
Minors, yes.
whatever. And it was complicated. I mean, just trying to get him,
Well, I think he was very busy in all of it. but-
yeah.
And he doesn't live here full time, so
Right,
he makes it a little more difficult.
but I mean, even the forms, if they use the same format as this past year, it's, I almost, or somebody almost has to get with him, you know what I mean,
Right.
physically, and let him do things and then.
Well, this is all of it.
It's all there, yeah.
It's all here.
Yeah.
I mean, it's.
You just have to have the forms.
Yeah,
But isn't there new forms
Well-
now? They've redone that whole.
well, Roberta, I think the filing is in January, isn't it? Not starting January 15th and ending in March 1st for the application.
I think so.
I have it written down. I didn't have it with me, but I have it written down
I have it somewhere.
as to when that application date is. But anyway, it would be something that we really want to jump on.
March 1st to May 16th.
There you go. I knew, but
And
we
you should,
can,
and people should have
but the
the
application
application to us.
we can get the application form by the 15th of January.
15th of February for us.
Is it? Okay, I thought it was January. All right, great. Okay, well, thank you, Sandy.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on to finance and budget. Executive committee needs to work up with the budget for the 2023 because we have to submit it in April. So we want to have it approved in March. With, 2548. I'm sorry, I wasn't used to that screen. Ah! Go girls. So let's set a date that makes, I've got most of the executive committee here, so Colin, when it's a good, but we just need to work on the budget because I have to submit it to the March meeting so for approval, and then we submit it in April.
I'm open to,
Yeah.
And can,
Right
you
now I
want,
can meet
do you
up.
want to meet at the airport
or I can come here and meet y'all.
or meet
Yeah,
here?
because we generally do it in the afternoon.
Yeah,
If we do decide that, or find somebody that wants to fill Sandy's place on the secretary or treasurer,
treasurer,
should we invite that person too?
yes,
Because even though they hadn't necessarily been voted. you
it's
know,
an appointment.
It's an appointment.
It's really an appointment.
Once somebody's been
Yeah.
appointed or voted on, then after that, if they resign, then it's an appointment. So we just need to see if she wants to resign.
Yeah, I can certainly ask her to do that, and then if
So some of the budget, if you do, is basically post this.
Right.
It's just like a new sheet.
We just
you
go down-
fill in the
you
blanks.
just
we
do
just
a
go down the
new,
line
you
and
fill
talk
in the
about-
blanks, exactly, it's
How
a
many markers
no-brainer.
we intend to do, that sort of thing.
And then, where do you get the information to fill in the blanks?
We get it from this. When I submit, as chairman, I submit the bills. So I scan them in and I send them to Susan Pash, who,
No, I know this, but I'm
Talking about the budget numbers that we're gonna budget.
It's like, this.
oh, I didn't
What
bring
does
the
it
budget, I
cost to-
should have.
What does it cost to build a marker or make a marker? That's something.
Well, that
that's-
changes, it changes,
Yeah.
Sandy can tell you, it changes, it goes up.
Well, it's going up this year.
Sure is.
Everything's going up.
The old Ford or
Foundry.
Foundry
yeah,
rather
the
that
foundry.
made the markers in the past went out of
Oh,
business.
that's right.
Yeah. they do.
Now I think we're actually outside the state, aren't we? If they coming out of Tennessee or something
I'm
like that.
pretty sure, yeah, Tennessee sounds right.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
But anyway, it is what it is, so, but anyway, so if we can. Any date's good for you?
Any day, yes, ma'am.
How about you?
Right now,
You're an
that
afternoon
far
guy.
out, yeah, that far out right now, I can make anything work.
Yeah, right.
So
So we want to try to do it for February
Sure.
prior to the March meeting. I don't want to do another thing in January. Good God, it's been crazy.
Mhm.
So what, that Wednesday afternoon works or?
Yeah, Wednesdays are good.
Okay. What date?
Let me get to-
Don't go do the 10th. That's the only, February 10th, I have an issue.
Oh, February 10th is a Thursday, so. we'll
Okay.
do that Anyway,
Okay, so 9th,
At night.
February 9th,
okay.
that'll work.
What time? 3, but I know afternoons are better for you. So
We can do 3. Yeah,
3 o'clock,
Sounds good.
and we're gonna do it here?
That's easy enough.
yeah, that's right.
Okay,
That keeps calling in
Yeah.
his job if somebody can come right away.
okay. Okay, so you see where the new budget for the 2023 to be approved at the March regular meeting. And then we will write a letter requesting our $10,000 in April. We have to go through Commissioner's Court to do that. So, all right, that's finance. Update on calendars while you're here, why
You're
would you?
the only one on there that's here.
No, it's here, Mark and Roberta were,
Yeah, and my husband went along with when the health care again. We did them yesterday, and I had a fourth grade teacher and a student, and we took a picture of PR and I sent it into the newspaper that we delivered these calendars and for the fourth graders.
and Mark said to me, he said, I didn't know there was a photo op.
I know he did, yeah, it was a real locked a little bit, his picture taken, but I told him, he says, I'm not dressed properly. I said, you rugged Texan, stand here. So he stood by the pirates.
So how many did we give out?
2:30.
Yeah.
Yeah, now I gave them my card, cause I asked, I got to talk to Pam, and I asked her if that 2:30 included the teachers, she wasn't sure. So I told them there that if they needed more, please call me, and we will get them the extra.
Well, the problem is we have to pay for it.
I know.
So,
That's why when you
And
said
when
you were
we're talking
gonna,
about
when you were
the
gonna
budget-
send back that 1,300, I'm thinking, oh my God, how many calendars are they gonna, it might be just fine, I don't know.
it's $5 a piece. I think we can work
I
it
think we
in.
can do, I
think
could
it's-
pay for it myself.
But 230 is over $1,000. Plus, we paid part of the printing as well, or the advertising in it. So
Then you got 300 printed up.
we had 230 that we paid for. We had more than 300 printed. I mean, because the Historical Society is the one that does the calendar. So we just pay our fair share
Yeah.
to them. And it's on your breakdown.
Mhm.
It's 12:05.
Yeah. Yeah. 12:05 for the calendars.
So-
107.
I was with Mark today, and he said y'all delivered 300 to the,
Right, no, it was 2:30. It's 2:30.
I'm sure he was swagging it.
It's over 200, so
All
it's 300.
right.
Oh, wow, that's okay.
Okay, so that's pretty much the report on the calendar. So we've fulfilled our obligation on that, which is great. The only sad part was we couldn't meet with the kids.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what,
There were so many that were ill, especially the staff. They had so many substitutes in there. And working in the office, they didn't even know each other's name.
Yeah.
I mean, I walked in the door, the lady didn't know anything about what I had said to the lady before. And I just explained again that all I need is a teacher and a fourth grade student, and a fourth grade teacher, and we can handle this. So they were very nice.
well, the thing
Yeah.
is that we got it done and the kids will take them home. And
Yeah,
show
it would have
their
been pretty
parents.
hard this year. I mean, doing a little talk, most of them was of people. And they didn't have very many places. I think too, there was a picture of a bed and breakfast and one other place, the Fulton Mansion. So it wasn't really sites, they were more or less people. And and that would have been tough
Yeah,
to talk about, all those kids.
yeah,
But two of them, we could have probably made up something about the other two pictures.
Yeah.
And I could have dressed up
yeah.
because of them.
Well, anyway, we thank you so
There'll
much
be
for
next time.
you and Mark both. Okay, so there's no collections, and something we really need to kind of talk about that at some point, but with the new courthouse, I don't know, should we wait on collections?
For the
is
new
what-
members, yeah. It's
For the
not-
new
we're not looking
members.
to get money from anybody. This is
For new members, we have an archives. And it's in the annex of the old probation office.
So
And
this is like a collection of old.
yeah, and so we bought the software, we bought the scanner out of 2020's budget,
Right.
I believe. And so but we haven't, it takes two people, and with the COVID for the last 2 years, I mean, we're in a closet. I mean, we're no further away than you and I are.
Yeah, a little closer than that with as much stuff.
I know.
Yeah.
So anyway, we're really gonna have to work on collections. It's, and get it done. Anyway, moving on, ad hoc, which Sandy Bridges update on cemeteries. I know that they meet regularly at the Lamar Cemetery Association and, but other than that, there's not been any activity. Under old business, time capsule, we're gonna have a meeting on the time capsule in February. No, or is that's tricky. God, got me. It's the end of this month somewhere. The time capsule is a real neat thing, and we want to keep it 2021. But I have most of the sesquicentennial stuff, and I have the calendar to go in it. I had my calendar for 2021 that I marked all the dates of all the meetings and stuff that we went through. And I thought, damn, this might need to go in too, just as,
Right.
because it was so much work. It was so much time put in it. And then I'm asking the judge to do a journal to put in it. I think we'll be also have a proclamation from Steve Russell that the city council did, and Steve has agreed to put a piece of art in the time capsule. I mean, my gosh, it would be awesome. So put your thinking caps on as to what events happened in 2021. I've got Mike Probst giving me a digital images of the newspaper, because we know newspaper is not archival by any stretch. In fact, I had the articles laying by my window. It's a north window, but by my window, they've already faded. I mean, so we've got to have that digital images to.
Got to figure out what he's
trace-
gonna put it on too, because depending on how long it's gonna be, how long is the,
I thought we print it.
but,
I was talking about putting it print.
On
on-
a USB.
okay, so to print out the digital.
Print out the digital.
On
Well, we
some
were still
archival
talking
media.
about putting everything on a thumb drive.
Well, you had talked to
But then what do
Colin
you, what
about,
if they don't have, like, I don't have a CD-ROM on my computer.
No CD-ROM.
Exactly.
30 years, a piece of electronic, a USB would probably be,
Yeah.
No, that's not gonna, you want.
none of that, yeah.
well, I think,
gotta be a
no,
CD.
well, it can't be a
Well,
CD.
it's gotta be-
Well, yeah, you can't even buy a
You
computer.
can't
with
buy a
CD-ROM
computer
anymore.
with a CD in it.
Yeah, there's gotta be some kind of archival media that's put
Well,
on, it's not
he
gonna
wasn't
break
talking
down.
about the whole machine,
I got a quote from a company that said they could do
the whole machine.
the watercolor paper,
Oh. okay.
transferring it to
Okay.
watercolor paper, and in a dark room or dark with our, you know about our safe that was donated,
Given to us.
given to us by Holland Safe.
Also,
So it's at the-
CDs now, DVRs.
It's just, it's,
50 years, think
they're
50
phasing
years,
them out, yeah.
think 50.
They had a pretty short run.
But there's
Where are
still,
we gonna put this capsule?
gosh,
The capsule's going
In
into
the
the lobby
wall.
of the new courthouse.
Oh,
I
okay.
understand
So
that.
you're gonna put it in the wall. or
It's in the
But
wall with
you
the
were gonna
glass
have it in
slot.
glass and thunder because it's magnetic.
It's gonna be neat.
It's,
Yeah, that's fine.
And we got it donated thanks to Mike.
You burn it into.
He saw a commercial and called him up and said, out of Corpus, and said, yeah, we'll do it. So they donated this.
Oh, great.
Right.
So they can be erased.
So when does this all have to be lined up for?
Well, the courthouse hasn't
The
been
courthouse
built
is
yet.
built yet.
So we're not
Not a rush job.
yeah, we're not a rush job, but at the same token, I'd like to have it off my plate. Because I'm not gonna remember. You know, I mean-
You know.
Colin would know
Seal it,
about how to preserve a thumb drive over that.
take it in and seal it into some
Well,
high impact plastic.
it's not so much preserving it, it's the actual, the chips themselves will degrade over
Yeah, I
time.
know,
They'll
that's what I'm
lose
saying.
their,
And have something to read it in 50 years.
And that's the other thing.
but the
But if
chips
we-
themselves will physically, they'll lose their electron charge.
If we print this on watercolor archival paper
Mhm.
in a dark space, it would be good for 300 years.
Yeah, and that's probably the best thing to do.
Yeah. So if I get the digital files from Mike on everything that happened sesquicentennial wise, then we can print that out onto archival paper and Cheryl Livingston said, oh, we can print it out on watercolor paper. And I said, but what about the ink?
Mhm.
You know, so I mean, you have to kind of factor all of that in.
And then how do you, how do we store it in there? You stack it?
Yeah.
Put the
Stack it
wax
in-
paper between it? I don't know.
In Mylar sheets. And
Mylar.
stuff.
In my
Is that
sheet.
capsule?
It's a 40 gun safe
Yeah,
that was donated to us by a safe company.
that's at 39 high.
I've got
Oh,
a Minnesota's
wait,
Historical Society's.
Well, really, it was a no-brainer for them.
4-page
because
guide
it's
on
gonna be
building
full
time
display for
capsules.
50 years, they're not gonna have their name.
Yeah.
Got some pretty
Cannon was
information.
dumb to not return my
Do's and
call.
don'ts, lots of website
I
links.
called
Oh,
Cannon
good,
safe
good,
first, because I own
good.
a Cannon
You can-
safe, and they
can you
didn't
send me a
return my
link
call,
on
but then I
that?
just happened to see
What's the
this
score?
Holland Safe commercial on TV, and they're
2550 Trinity.
I had a
Okay.
really nice Holland safe in my house for my grandson.
Mine's a Winchester.
Well, I'm gonna, as soon as we get through, and I'm almost through, we're almost done. Is there any more, but put your thinking caps on what you think 2021 might be that we can put in that time capsule. And like I said, I've asked
What
the judge.
about
N95 masks.
something
Yeah.
flash worthy? It's been kind of a big issue. in
Absolutely.
2021. And you happen to be neighbors of somebody that
I know, I know him
Has
pretty
some-
well.
archival information regarding that. Mr. Nizer.
Absolutely, Chuck. Okay, I can certainly do that. Okay, under new business, we've got the conference coming up February 2nd through the 4th. Is anybody here interested in going to that? It's in Austin. Who wants to go? All right, South Texas Historical Association, I didn't put the date. I think they've got, can you check on that while you're sitting there?
Sure.
If there's anything current coming up,
The South Texas Historical
association,
Association.
yeah. I put it on there, but I didn't follow through and look at the date to see. We, 3 or 4 years ago, we hosted this South Texas Historical Association, and we had it at,
Do they not have a website?
yeah, they do. Okay, while he's looking that up, Tropical Trails is January 28th in McAllen. And then we need our, of course, I got him doing 2 things at once. Our quarterly meeting dates.
So I have those.
Okay,
We could do March 9th or 16th. I couldn't remember if we do usually go, the March 9th is a second Wednesday.
second Wednesdays work better than third Wednesdays. for
Okay,
me.
so March 9th would be the second Wednesday. That'd be our,
Same time, 5:15.
Yeah,
You put it in.
and here,
Yes.
unless something comes up, we can't use this room, but usually at this time of day, we're.
yeah, this time of day usually we're good,
Yeah.
but we can work that out.
Okay, September,
September, we come to the 14th.
I won't be there.
how do you know?
I have a,
That
I have
date
a,
far in
I have a
advance.
board meeting in Boston, I already know, I know that date,
Okay.
I know the date. I know those
I
dates.
trust you. Okay, then what's the
Did we talk about time?
Oh, wait, what's the date?
5:15,
Okay.
No, it's September. What can we do?
14th.
Oh, 14th.
I can't make that.
Then what's the December? We don't do December, November,
What
November.
day of the week is, what day of the week is?
and that's
It's
when we
on
do
a
the slate, that's when we
Wednesday.
do the slate.
That's what we try to have on.
November 9th. would be-
No, okay,
I'll have to look at my calendar, maybe.
That's the second
Right,
Wednesday.
right,
Okay.
okay.
What was the first meeting date? I'm sorry.
March 9th,
March 9th, got it.
September 14th,
I may be
November
able to-
9th.
I'll have to check that, it's close. to-
and then our annual meeting will be in January. Well, I guess we may as well
We do it,
put it
we
down.
do an annual retreat every year, which is a date, around that date, but
So
because of. a lot of
January
places,
11th.
we
Okay,
moved it up.
January 11th.
This last year we moved it up.
that'll be
You
annual
won't
meeting.
believe it. Well, you were a good one. I booked my flight for the 14th. Be up there in that week, get the tickets.
Okay, so our next meeting
Hotel.
It'd be the 9th of March. Okay,
What am I?
is there anything else?
Contacted someone.
I'm gonna go watch the second
I'll see you
half.
in 2 weeks. I'll see you next week.
And I also do have a
Motion to
call,
adjourn.
the marker applications are out for 2022, and they do have their prices on them.
Okay, can you
Because what
forward
it is,
that?
they moved it back that week.
They're expensive,
Yeah, next week.
and they're all, doesn't matter what size you get.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but if you do, or what type of marker, it's the same cost, no matter what type of marker it is.
Is it 1,800?
$18.75
Yeah.
for 27 by 42.
I heard a motion to adjourn by Rick. Anybody
Second.
Second by Roberta.
All right.
I close.
We are adjourned at 6:03.
See, that went long. That went 45 minutes.
I like it. I like it.